about 40 miles. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And their quarterback, well, everyone knows he's got height, standing at 6'6". Throwing on first down. Blake. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. Back to throw. Blake, and his throw's going to be incomplete. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
Third play here, this opening drive, as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Looking to throw. Blake, and that is incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on 3rd down to bring up 4th. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. So out come the Cardinals now for their opening drive. And trotting out there, their tall quarterback standing at 6'5". And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you can see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
Back to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I like the boldness, and I like that they took a shot downfield, but it was well covered, and he's able to get a hand in and knock it away.
On 4th down, here's Andy Leon to kick it away. He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. This is brought in at the 21. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive.
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
To throw on second down. Blake. Wide open receiver complete. Touchdown, 49ers. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Niners have taken the early lead.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
How about the throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Robbie Gould on for the extra point. And the 49ers grab a 7-0 lead. The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. And it's a short kick, taken right around the 19. And a great return, solid field position. He's up all the way to the 45-yard line.
Well, you gave up the first touchdown of the game, but how about the response? Big-time return. Now it's their chance to try and put points on the board.
The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now, let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hand.
Now the Niners get there and bring him down. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
So the sack on first down there by the defense, and now it's second down. Going to give this time to the tailback. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Brandon, with the last couple of plays for the offense not being good at all, my thought process as a coordinator, get the ball in the hands of my best player and see if I can salvage anything out of this drive.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
What I loved about meeting with these coaches before the game is we didn't even have to ask any questions. They told us that they were going to be aggressive and push the ball downfield. They weren't successful on that play, but look for them to try it again later.
Here's Andy Lee now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line. Out on the field now, here come the 49ers. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down for a loss back at the 3. And now we see Bryant yet to pop up. Still down following that play. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down.
Here we go.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And not much there as he gets it up to about the 5-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought the punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
Here's Bradley Pinion now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he's able to get it out quickly, and this is not a bad kick here. Now a fair catch taken just across midfield, maybe by a yard or 2. A 40-yard punt, no return. And the Cardinals, great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. The Cardinal offense here ready to take over. And this is their 3rd drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a 1st down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a 1st down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. A big play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Cardinals are just an extra point away from tying this game. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Here's Phil Dawson now for the point after. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This is taken at his 4. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. So add that tackle for a loss to the 2 that he had a week ago.
And you know what he's doing right now?
Smiling?
Yeah, definitely doing that. But he's also patting his guys on the back, his defensive front, because they're keeping him clean, meaning no one's getting to him as a blocker. He's able to run to the football, and the plays he's making, he's spilling them in the offensive backfield.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And they give this time to the tailback. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
And defensively, a dime look here. 6 DBs on 3rd and 12.
No surprise at all.
Here we go. 1, 9, run.
From the gun, Blake. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. 35 yards that time on the punt, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Cardinals offense now works their way back onto the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. I mean, that's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
They're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. The numbers a week ago for Henderson. 10 catches, 133 yards.
And he's able to pull that last pass in, but this is usually a pretty tough unit to try and maneuver against. They're in the top 10 in the league against the pass, and you and I both know there's not much difference between 1 and 10.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
2nd down following the run. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Here we go. Green, 39.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And that is incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Now back to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
That's a 1st down if he holds on, but you saw the contact, able to jar it free from him and force a 4th down.
Great play defensively there, as you said, just to knock it free, because if he had caught that, past the sticks, 1st down. On to try the field goal now, Phil Dawson. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. And Dawson's kick is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So it goes down as an 8-play drive, and they cap it with the field goal.
Yeah, they were able to pick up a few 1st downs along the way, but they couldn't keep the momentum going all the way into the end zone.
Now after the made field goal, here's Dawson back out now to send this one away on the kickoff. This will be fielded at the 6. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Second quarter now. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis with you. It's the 49ers in control of the football. They're facing a tough spot, 3rd and 8 here to start things out.
Here we go.
Operating from the gun. Blake. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
I call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And out will come the offense as they take over. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series, so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing.
And down he goes. The 49ers get there.
Was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he will fight his way forward to about the 23-yard line. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run it and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Here's Andy Lee now, as he's on to punt for Arizona. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this ball's going to be touched down just shy of midfield. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but they're losing. And I think as the captain of the offense, you probably always feel like you need to do more in that situation.
The best have always felt that way, and they won't settle for anything less. So right now, his goal is to increase what he's doing on the field, try to make sure his teammates come along with him, and he feels like if I do better, everyone will do better. And that's what we're seeing from him right now. Got to have a little extra determination.
Yeah, a little extra determination. He has thrown the touchdown pass, no interceptions for him personally to this point.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Looking to throw on second down. Blake, and he's taken to the ground, but he was pulled down by the face mask. Here come the flags, and I believe this is going to be a first down.
Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
On 1st and 10, Blake throwing the slant pattern here, complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. The play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
They'll run it now out of the gun. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the 49ers have now taken the lead. Second effort there. He was determined to find pay dirt, and he did.
I think that's a great example of what coaches talk about, a back that runs behind his pads, and he uses pads to get him into the end zone.
Gold to add the extra point. And that makes it 14-10. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but bottom line, his team's losing. They got to fix something.
And it starts with him. He has to keep that little quarterback strut going right now to make sure his team sees him as confident. Continue to try and up his game, but just let him know, hey, if I'm around, if I'm the one calling signals and throwing the football, just follow me, we'll get there. Sometimes that will do more to elevate a team than anything else.
See if he has that confidence.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he is knocked down from the side. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
The best defensive lineman They play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. A very solid gain of 27. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Here we go. Blue landing. Blue landing.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he fires one incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made.
Hurry up. Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll set up to throw. And the Niners get there and bring him down.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. So out comes the field goal team now for the second time here today. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to more NFL action on EA Sports after this. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Larry Ridley will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. And Dawson's kick is good. And the lead is down to 1 now at 14-13. In that last field goal, Charles, the 500th of his great NFL career. Only 2 unrelated Andersons have more. Gary at 538, Morton with 565.
And that is some pretty heady company right there. Somebody get him the football. That's one he'll want for the mantle.
Short kick here, fielded about the 17. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The 49ers offense now, they work their way back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Throwing to start the drive. Blake. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off near the 34.
Well, surprise, surprise, partner. No, we know it's not a surprise. When you try to complete a pass against this Cardinals defense, there's a reason that they are known as the no-fly zone.
So out now come the Cardinals. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gas.
Yeah, a little tired. And if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield and giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense.
Give them 12 yards on that one. It earns them a fresh set of downs.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
And he spots Henderson open left side. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
Let's go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. They'll set up a throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cardinals.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Are you looking forward?
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
Now Dawson for the extra point. And that'll make this a 6-point game. Here's Dawson now to kick this one away. Short boot, take it at the 21. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get them back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that second touchdown now. To throw on second down. Blake throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
To throw on third down. Blake. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence, does a great deal for your team, Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. They'll throw now on the final play. And he is out of bounds, getting it across the 30-yard line. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Cardinals out in front. As we send you cross-country to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando with our halftime report, here's Larry Ridley.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. The 49ers are behind right now, but the home crowd should give them a boost. The Cardinals have looked good on the road and will just try to keep the ball rolling in the second half. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. 49ers on 2nd and 7. Blake's going to find his mark, and nobody can stop him on this long touchdown midway through the first quarter. The 49ers strike first in this one. Asper's on point with the throw. He gone as he sprints into the end zone. The Cardinals tied up at 7. Now 1st and 10. Blake's on target here, and he'll be tackled at the 11-yard line. Continuing on the drive, Tresnick's going to look for a gap, and he caps off the 2-play drive with a score. 49ers go up by 4. Now to late in the first half. Under pressure here, the pass is picked off. Cardinals will come away with the football. After the INT, offense comes out now. Quick pass is complete, and it's caught for the touchdown. The Cardinals on top by 6. So that'll do it from our studios in Orlando for the second half kickoff. Let's get you back out west to Santa Clara and Brandon Guy.
This one fielded at the 5. And he's able to get it up close to the 35, but hang on here. Penalty marker down. And this one might be going the other way.
Return team.
So that will push him back.
And now we know why I had a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back. That penalty will move them back.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
They'll look to throw. And this one is incomplete. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Now we're going to get a stoppage here as we've got an injured Cardinal on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Here's Andy Lee now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And now a high kick trying to pin him back. And not his best effort there, as this one's going to be spotted down just outside of the 40-yard line. Here's a look at the 49ers offense as they make their way out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards Stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out if that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. And the offense will be looking to get at least some of this yardage back here. It's 2nd and 12. Off the play fake. Blake. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
The Niners on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12.
Here we go. 1, 9, 10.
From the gun, Blake. Going up top. And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown 49ers. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Niners, if they can convert the extra point, they'll grab the lead. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. And that one puts them on top here in the 3rd. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Now they try the right side here. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They'll look to throw here. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that's going to make it 4th down. Here's Andy Lee now, standing just outside his own goal line. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. That'll go as a punt of 34 yards that time. And the Niners set up well. They take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. The 49ers offense making its way back out there. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good. So they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. He's going to look deep down the field. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
On third down, it's Bryant. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on third down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right, they need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down.
Here we go.
Operating from the gun, Blake. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll make this a second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They run a draw here on second down, and he'll get it down this time to the 17. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play there. Second down. And to give this time to the tailback. And once again, not much running room, if any at all. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. So back-to-back plays here where he couldn't get anything on the ground. Now you face a 3rd and 10 and assume you're going to try to pass it, right?
I would think so, because you've tried to run the ball, and really it didn't matter who got the ball in the play because there was no space to go. So then I think you step back, throw the ball to try and pick up the first down.
His throw caught right around the 6. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see.
And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Now Gold for the extra point. And with that, the lead is up to 8. That time, a 9-play drive. And it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And the Cardinals getting set to trot out there now. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you've got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Wasn't that long ago that the NFL guys really didn't adopt much from the college game. But one thing that has crept in there is spreading things out, opening things up, not even just in tempo.
And down he goes. The 49ers get there.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
The Cardinals on third down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd and 9. On play action, they'll throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Here's Andy Lee now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Give him 11 yards that time on the return, and the Niners will go on offense 1st and 10. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a play action, and throw one deep.
5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the 3rd quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the 4th quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here in Santa Clara. It's 49er football here. They've got the lead as well as we get set to start the 4th and final quarter.
Here we go.
On 1st down, Blake. And unable to connect on the long pass. It falls down incomplete.
Tremendous field position there and a perfect time to do exactly what they did. Take a shot at the end zone. And they went for the big play, just unable to complete it.
2nd down following the incompletion.
Here we go.
Now they'll run on the draw. He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. Back to throw. Blake, pressure comes, and the Cardinals bring him down.
Well, when defensive coordinators game plan to put pressure on a quarterback, they often want to use blindside rushes, and that's exactly what they did there. The cornerback gets to him and drops him.
Here's Bradley Pinion now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And this one will wind up being down just outside of that 20-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field.
Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they're able to get this one across the 35. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
Now a play fake here on first down. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
I know for us it's fun, and it's not so much fun for the rookie receivers when we see them coming into the league and we're going to training camps. You see them working on getting 2 feet down instead of 1. But the best ones train in college trying to get 2 down instead of 1, so the transition's a little bit less. In this case, though, wasn't able to complete it anyway.
2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down. Here's Andy Lee now as he's on to punt for Arizona. And now a high kick here as he'll try to hang it up there. 31 yards on the punt there. The 49er offense now making their way out onto the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd and 1. The Niners on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation.
Let's go!
Gonna give this time to the tailback. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down.
That was a terrific job by the defense stopping them on 3rd and short. But sometimes you get some visual cues from the offense because when they're going in short yard situations, you might see the offensive line come in tighter together, a little more shoulder to shoulder, trying to wedge a hole in the middle. They didn't get it done on that play.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field.
And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex.
And the Niners get there and bring him down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he whips that one incomplete there.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
They'll look to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Oh, he can't hang on to it. Almost intercepted. They would have loved the first pick of the game there, but at least it does get him to 4th down.
I guess they're in a situation now, 4th quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted, and if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
And now a high kick here as they'll try to cover this one. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The
leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive.
Brandon, it's all about pace and tempo now for them. They've got the advantage, so I'm going to put musical terms for you. You don't want to go prestissimo. That's too quick, too lively, right? But you also don't want to slow it down too much. You don't want to go lento. What you really want to be is moderato. Nice and even, nice and steady, get those gains, and close out the game.
I think that chicken parm from last night's gone to your head.
Give him 3 yards on the run there. That still leaves him with a difficult 3rd and 8 coming up. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. Here's Bradley Pinion now as he's on to punt for San Francisco. Now a high kick, almost a pooch punt. And a fair catch is called for. He will take it in to give his guys some excellent field position here. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. They're going to look to throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Henderson. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
He'll look to throw. Hard throw, incomplete.
When we talk with people about what we think the most important quality for an NFL quarterback to possess, what do people usually say?
Arm strength. He showed the arm strength there.
Yeah, pretty good bullet pass he threw, but he wasn't accurate, was he?
No.
Listen, you like mobility, but accuracy, first and foremost, is what a quarterback needs. He didn't possess it on that play.
Here's the veteran punter Lee as he sends this one away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. as San Francisco gets set to go here. So they're leading. They have possession of the football, and certainly this is where they just want to milk the clock. Now a handoff here to his running back. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Decent start defensively to this series. They've got to stop them here and get this ball back.
I like the way you phrase that, partner. Decent start, but now it's got to be more about the ball. It's all about the ball, getting it away from them, because making good tackles is one thing, but the clock will run out on you. You've got to have the football back for your offense.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. And on the ground they go with a running back. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here's Bradley Pena now as he's on to punt for San Francisco. He'll take it at the 42. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Cardinals, great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. They'll look to throw. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he's brought down. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. He's back to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. What a great sequence by this defense so far. They've given him nowhere to go with the football.
And they just have to make it stand up one more time because it appears that they've got their number. Can they not have a slip up here and allow the touchdown?
He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. A disappointing drop there on 4th and goal. And that'll be just about all she wrote for this one. So now let's reset here, Charles. They do have 2 timeouts left, so they can stop the clock twice. This one's not quite over yet.
No, and what you're doing on defense, you're going to use both timeouts, obviously. But you've got to call defenses are going to force the issue early, meaning you want that play over fast. You don't want to give them time to dance around in the backfield or run a wide sweep that'll take off time. Blitz them, put pressure on them, make sure that play ends quickly so that you can go ahead and keep moving.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Big hold of the 30. And he's brought down after a good game. And the Cardinals going to use another timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Down to a knee for the 49ers. This one about to be on ice. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. Down to a knee for the 49ers. This one about to be on ice. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Niners, they inch closer to respectability now at 3-6 on the year. And they'll get another home date next week as the Saints will come to town. Meanwhile, for Arizona, the difficult season continues as they drop to 1-8. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to KC to take on the Chiefs. So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The 49ers get the win here at home as we say so long from Santa Clara.